come on, here we go, come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down. Yo, I'm a novelist, notice the news, nigga, you're knocking, never the knock, navigating natural net, respect, rattle you right, rational, respond, ready, rock, react with raw thoughts, similar aftershock. You sail the same seas and sample the same songs. You satire the soul and stroll with neck songs. I'm chopping the cheese puffs. You chumps is chinchilla. I chin check your chops and chat the mic illa. The incline, the index, insight, and invite, involve and intersect. Italy to India, international minister, marching with maneuvers, miracle of metaphors, melody to move to. Time go tick tock. I tap on textiles. My text is too tough to train like turnstiles. I'm wild like Tone Low with lyrics that like love. The laugh and lyricism need a labor of love. Here we go, come on, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down. Cool when I coordinate the crazy composition, never copycat, eating comp like cornbread, conceive the concept and let it construct, then continue with the content to build erupt. The even is zigzag, the example is this, each examine every year and express yourself. Ghetto youth is your year, yesterday still young, don't yield to no yuppie yapping and yelling to you. As the sky be blue and as the night be black, even blemishes is bit, how bleak and bold. Blast off beat, place and let it all unfold, cause uncertain, unbalanced gets undersold. It's your world. Come on, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, here we go, come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down. Come on, y'all, get live, get down, here we go. Come on, y'all, get live, get down, here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down, here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, I said come on, y'all, get live, get down. Navigating natural net, respect, rattle you right, rational, respond, ready, rock, react with raw thoughts, similar aftershock. You sail the same seas and sample the same songs. You satire the soul and stroll with neck songs. I'm chopping the cheese puffs. You chumps is chinchilla. I chin check your chops and chat the mic illa. The incline, the index, insight, and invite, involve and intersect. Italy to India, international minister, marching with maneuvers, miracle of metaphors, melody to move to. Time go tick tock. I tap on textiles. My text is too tough to train like turnstiles. I'm wild like Tone Low with lyrics that like love. The laugh never copycat, eating comp like cornbread. Conceive the concept and let it construct. Then continue with the content to build erupt. The ease in is zigzag, the example is this. Each examine every year and express yourself. Ghetto youth is your year, yesterday still young. Don't yield to no yuppie yapping and yelling to you. As the sky be blue and as the night be black, even blemishes is bit. How bleak and bold. Blast off beat, blitz and let it all unfold. Cause uncertain, unbalanced gets undersold. It's your world. Come on, here we go. Come on, I said come on, y'all. Get live, get down. Here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, I said come on, y'all. Get live, get down. Come on, y'all. Get live, get down. Here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, I said come on, y'all. Get live, get down. Here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, here we go. Come on, I said come on, y'all. Get live, get down. Get live, get down. Hero one on the beat.
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is April 7th, 2023. And for the past 18 days, Bitcoin has literally been coiling up. Okay, it's been coiling up. It's been very boring. All right, we can acknowledge that. Very little has been happening to the upside or to the downside. But I'm here to tell you why a big move is very, very, very near. And we may very well get that move in the next few hours, okay? If that interests you, then watch until the very end. Guys, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're healthy and happy on this Friday afternoon. Let's get started. First, let me show you this. All right, this is Bitcoin for the past 18 days, right? In this blue range. And let's see. Okay. Yes, I have that correct. Okay, past 18 days, we've been coiling up in this blue range. I've counted this before on the channel. Here, I'm seeing a triple three, sort of a complex flat correction, okay? Just a W, X, Y, X, Z, okay? I've annotated that. And after that, I'm seeing a kind of accumulation or consolidation reversal, 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot, okay? I'm basically seeing our first AB base down here, our second being all of this right here, okay? So this is first degree, this is second degree, and this I'm seeing as our pivot, okay? So I'm basically saying that according to my count, this rounded bottom right here should be the end of our entire consolidation, okay? And a lot of people like to pose the question, why? Why has Bitcoin been in this range for 18 days, not doing anything? Is it bullish or bearish? Why? Well, it's very difficult to answer that question if you're going to resort to, trying to explain the jobs report or the PCI or the economy or all that stuff. On this channel, we use one simple indicator for why Bitcoin is doing something. It's very simple. There are 2 things that can move a market. 1, people buying or selling the asset. 2, the underlying asset fluctuates. So basically, if your underlying asset, whatever you use to buy your asset, or whatever the asset is denominated in, Bitcoin is denominated in US dollars. So if the relative strength of the US dollar increases or decreases, it will directly or indirectly affect, inversely, well, let's just say it will directly affect the price of Bitcoin in an inverse manner. So the higher the relative price of the dollar, the lower the price of Bitcoin, and vice versa. Yeah. So those two ways, yeah. $500 billion market cap, $500 billion market cap. It's highly unlikely, and seldom is it the case, that we're affecting the value, the price of Bitcoin by buying and selling. Even a lot, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. No, because it's a $500 billion market cap. So to answer the question why, we have to turn to the DXY, the US dollar currency index, which is, in the example, the relative value of the US dollar. And what do we see here? The US dollar has been in a range for the past, guess it, 18 days. Okay, for the past 18 days, the US dollar has also been in a range. This should not surprise you, for those of you subscribed to this channel. It is inversely proportional to Bitcoin, because it is essentially the underlying asset. 60% of all trade on the planet happens using dollars, so 60% or more of any Bitcoin purchases are made using the US dollar. The US dollar is indirectly or directly correlated to Bitcoin, inversely correlated to Bitcoin rather. Okay, so what you can see here is the US dollar, or DXY, has been consolidating and finally broke this range. Now, that was a celebration. We celebrated that on the channel, breaking a very important range, 2-week range. That means that Bitcoin is going to pump, altcoins are going to pump, crypto is going to pump, risk on assets are going to pump. We got it. But before you break down and break out, we know very well price action doesn't do that. Price action is very circumspect. It's very it's very careful in how it matriculates. To break a very important level of support, you first have to break it, then retest it, and then break out. Okay? Why am I saying that the big move in Bitcoin is very near, and it's likely to happen today? It's because look at this. Here's your support level in the DXY, okay? We've established the thesis that the DXY is the mover of Bitcoin, okay? You break it here. You come up in 3 waves, retested in 3 waves. What do we know about 3-wave retest? Anything 3 waves is corrective, okay? That's our basic Elliott wave theory. And we kind of play here. Okay, so what we want to do here is we're going to focus in on this portion. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. This is going to be a quick update. I know everybody's exasperated, kind of annoyed, upset. You know, we all want to see the price move, but this is really what separates the best traders from the average to the novice to the inexperienced traders. We pay attention even when it hurts to pay attention, when it's not fun to pay attention. Because in these periods of time, you can 1, accumulate, 2, learn. And you do not discount the value, even the monetary value of learning by looking and reading charts regularly and understanding concepts, because you will automatically, even without even thinking about it, without knowing it, unconsciously apply it to your trading strategy, and it will monetize itself. It will reap rewards. So when we break down and we come back up, what do we do here? This is what we want to look at right here. This channel of price action. Because this is essentially the retest, the final retest that retests this entire 18-day range and breaks down from it. And so I'm saying with confidence that this breakout in the Bitcoin is very near. Why? Because the DXY breaking down from this 18-day range is pretty much imminent. It's already done the work of breaking the initial range, right? This is your initial breakup structure. This is your retest. This is your distribution or your distributive range. And now the real breakout happens, okay? That's the simplified version. Obviously, we talk about 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. Or we're talking about consolidation reversals. So we can look at this in terms of 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. But basically, very simply, we just want to think about it as breakout or breakdown, retest, pivot, come back down, okay? And that's exactly what's happening right now, okay? And you can look at this as a textbook pivot right here. This is clearly a 3-wave move. This is clearly a B wave. Some people call this a swing failure pattern because you come up and you fail to hold the level. And so what you're essentially and eventually going to see is that price, it came up all the way here, it comes back and makes a lower low and continues. Okay, that's a swing failure pattern. So this is why, without even going into detail, and I feel like we can hold off on trying to count 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot here. The very fact that you have this big wick up here. Remember, big wicks to the upside are bearish, right? Candlestick 101. If you have a big wick up here, that means massive selling pressure. If you have a big wick to the downside, that means strong buying pressure, okay? So here on the small time frames, on the 15-minute time frame, you can see we have a big wick to the upside. We came into this region that we just lost, and there was too much selling pressure because we had just lost this. So it's showing the bearishness of this level, of the price at this level, okay? So let's zoom in a little bit to see what we have here. And once we came up here, right, with this 1, 2, 3 B wave, we rejected from it in 1, 2, 3 waves. This is exactly what you want to see. Now, what do we have here? 1, 2, probably going to get another move up to about here, or maybe a little higher. It doesn't matter. It could be a zigzag. It could be a flat correction. Either way, you come up here, you retest this level, or you sort of set this level as, you retest this level, and you finally break down. That final breakdown is your Bitcoin pump, okay? So this is what I'm seeing in the DXY, and understanding that the DXY does not trade on the weekends. We know that we only have, right now, at this moment in time, about 4.5 hours left to execute this move. So if we're going to get a pump, if we're going to get a big move in crypto, in Bitcoin, it's going to happen within 4.5 hours. If it doesn't, I'm going to tell you what happens. We hang out here for the next 4 hours, or here for the next 4 hours, and then on Sunday evening, we gap up or gap down, and we finally resume this. But between Friday evening at around 6 p.m. and then Sunday at around 7:30, 8 p.m., Bitcoin's just going to go sideways for longer, okay? I know it's going to drive people crazy, but that's the idea. The market does not trade. The DXY does not trade on the weekends, although crypto is 24/7. Because the DXY doesn't trade on the weekends, Bitcoin essentially doesn't make any consequential moves on the weekends. And I will challenge anybody who says otherwise. I've back-tested this. I've looked into it, at length, even on this channel with you all. Okay, so that's the DXY. This is my Y. Okay, so we should, in theory, see Bitcoin react accordingly. So because the DXY had been playing in an 18-day channel and has lost it and now still has to break down from it, right? Bitcoin has yet to even break out of his channel. Okay, so you understand, like, the two things are diametrically opposed. They're like mirror images. What we've seen on the DXY is a further progression of the price action. Okay, remember, 18-day channel, you broke down, and now you're already retesting it for the total breakout. Whereas in Bitcoin, 18-day channel, you have yet to even get a breakout. Okay, so this is another reason why I would not be surprised if we did experience before the close of trading today, right, in 4 to 5 hours, a breakout in Bitcoin. Because you know what? You don't break up and just keep going to the moon. No, what we're going to have to do is break up, retest this 18-day level, right? 18 days of consolidation, 18 days of sideways price action, and then go on our merry way. So Bitcoin has to catch up to the DXY, which it's inversely correlated with. So that's my other point. I would not be surprised if at the very least, we got the initial break of structure of this 18-day channel to catch up with the DXY, and then on the weekend effectuated the retest, so that on Sunday, or at the resumption of trading on for the next week of trading, we then got the actual breakout. I hope that makes sense. So this is kind of what I'm seeing. Now, the other thing I want to say is this. Let's zoom in a little bit more precisely to this region right here. And I've said this before on the channel, and I think if you've traded enough, if you've read enough charts, you will acknowledge this. Bottoms are typically rounded. Tops are typically rounded. Okay? Here we see a rounded bottom. Furthermore, I'm going to show you something else. It's not only that you see a rounded bottom, but if you take your Fibonacci retracement of this entire uptrend right here, okay, which you could say is a 5-wave trend, even if it's a zigzag, it's you could call it a corrective 5-wave trend, okay? So 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Where do you see support? Right here, between the 0.5 and the 618, right on the 618 actually, which is the phi ratio, the golden pocket. So it's very likely, with a high degree of probability, not just because this is rounded, but also because you're seeing the price find support at the 0618, that we hold this and break up and out from this, okay? Wouldn't be surprised. Wouldn't be surprised. Furthermore, let's throw in some indicators. We have to use some indicators, right? Well, we can use some indicators. We don't have to. We can, and it's not a bad idea to use indicators corroboratively, just, to get a fuller story of what you think may be happening. So on the hourly time frame, we're kind of overbought. We're getting into overbought territory, but on the 15-minute time frame, we're oversold and we're cross bullish. On the 4-hourly time frame, we're oversold and we're cross bullish, double bottomed actually. On the daily time frame, we're oversold, double bottomed, and crossed, not yet cross bullish. Okay, oversold and double bottomed. So it's primed to go. The momentum is there. Okay, the momentum is there for a big move to the upside in Bitcoin. Okay, this is precisely what you do want to see. For people asking questions who haven't been in the market, who don't have much experience in the market, wondering, is this good or bad? Let me tell you, when you see volatility getting lower, meaning the variance of price goes lower, you're typically going to get a really big move. Okay, now the question is that move going to be an accumulation? Is that move going to prove the consolidation as accumulation or distribution? Are you going to go up or down, basically, is what I'm saying. Well, there's a lot of things sort of indicating what may likely happen. Firstly, if you come up into the accumulation or the consolidation, I'll say, if you come up into the consolidation, it's likely that you continue out. in the same direction, okay? It's likely. But it's not, you could get a consolidation reversal for sure, okay? And this can be just a move to the downside. But it would be unlikely that your large intraday time frames, so like your 4 hourly and your daily, show as being oversold, right? If you're going to get a big move to the downside. Do you see what I mean? Like, if it were the case that this was distributive, usually it would be reflected in your indicators, and your indicators would be overbought. Okay, wouldn't be oversold. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, you can also look and see what other people are thinking, how people are trading. I understand that Bitcoin doesn't always react, or it doesn't always follow what everybody wants it to do or what everybody thinks it's going to do, but this is good to look at nonetheless. Okay, here I'm on CoinGlass looking at the funding rate. Okay, for those of you who don't know, the funding rate is explained here. Okay, so essentially, when the funding rate is below 0.1, okay, it's bullish. Okay, when funding rates are above 0.01, rather, it's bearish. Okay, so this is what it's telling you here, and it's showing you basically the current funding rates for all of the different assets and on each exchange. And you can see here the different funding rates are all quite bullish except for one. Okay, so this is interesting to see what other people are thinking in terms of like how people are trading, how people are using perpetuals, right? How people are trading on leverage. Most people are looking to go long, or thinking it's going to go long based off of this. Okay, however, if you go and look at long versus shorts, what do you see? So I showed this yesterday. For the past 24 hours, most people are short on Bitcoin. For the past, I think the funding rate is not just what the traders are thinking. Okay, I got it. 1 second. Let me explain this and then I'll go back to funding rates. Okay, so this is a little different than funding rates. This is how actual traders are trading. Okay, so traders are trading mostly short in the past 12 hours on Bitcoin. Most of them are, okay, now it's just flipped to most people are long in the past 4 hours. Most people are long in the past hour. Most people are short in the past 30 minutes. Most people are short in the past 15 minutes. So a lot of people went short in the past 15 minutes. Oh, and even more people went short in the past 60 minutes. So a lot of people are short in the immediate short term. However, when we saw the funding rates being mostly bullish, what does that mean? That's usually that the exchange has to pay for people, putting in orders, right? It has to pay for it somehow. So how do exchanges do it? Exchanges usually use the traders on the other side to pay for the less popular trade. Okay, so if Bitcoin is mooning, okay, and it's going up and up and up, and I'm going short, then most of the people in their right mind, seeing big green candles, are going to go long, right? And they're going to be making money. So what the exchange is going to do is they're going to get the people going long to pay for the people going short. Okay, and so that funding rate would be reflective of that. Now, and the opposite is the case if the trend is going down and everybody's going short, then the shorts are going to pay for the longs. So if the funding rate is bullish, that essentially means that a lot of people are going short. Okay, it's telling us the same thing that we're seeing on this BTC long short ratio. I think I have that right. If I don't, if somebody knows better about that, definitely correct me. That's not my expertise. Let me be honest. My expertise is just looking at the charts and doing analysis there. But, I look at these things from time to time, funding rates, I look at long short ratio, just to get an idea of what everybody else is doing. Okay. So this is Bitcoin. That's the funding rate. That's the long short ratio. This is what I think is happening with decreasing volatility. You typically see these big moves happen when everything pretty much comes to a screeching halt. Okay? And if we had to see it, it would be in the next few hours. Now, the other thing I want to do is look at Bitcoin dominance, okay? I want to look at Bitcoin dominance because this is giving us an idea as to what altcoins are doing as opposed to Bitcoin or vis-a-vis Bitcoin, right? So if Bitcoin is going, so here we had a distribution, right? And this went down. Now this went back up. Is this going to continue to go up? Unlikely, given that it stopped at what seems to be the golden pocket if we take our Fibonacci retracement level. Get that to catch. The right. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah. See, you see it stopped right at the 618. It's possible that this is an impulse and this is a wave 2, right? This is just a counter correction, and this will continue to the downside. If that's the case, then the Bitcoin dominance will continue to go down, meaning that altcoins are going to gain against Bitcoin in market cap, meaning altcoins are going to go up, up, and up, while Bitcoin goes up, but not as much, okay? And now we're looking at Bitcoin and we're thinking, well, is Bitcoin going to move? Bitcoin is dependent on the DXY to move, but the DXY doesn't trade during the weekend, so on and so forth. What will altcoins do? Let's have a look, because this also will show us the general trend, what we should expect in the market. Okay? So Cardano, what can you see here? You can see the same thing is true as we saw yesterday. You're still on support, and you're basing, whoops, let me try this one more time. You're basing on support, okay? You're looking to move up. On the 4-hourly time frame, you're cross bullish and you're oversold, which is a good sign for continuing to the upside, okay? You can see the same thing with Algorand. You're still on support. You're still looking to go up. Your momentum indicator is still crossed bullish, and you're still oversold. Okay, basic attention token, you're on support. You can see that, whether I can draw it or not, and you're coming up a decent amount. Okay, are you breaking records? No, you're going up. You're a little up. You're up a little more than most other assets, and you're cross bullish on the 4-hourly momentum indicator. Okay, Blur, this is basically at support right here, and you're showing a strong hammer candle. Remember, big wick to the downside means buy pressure. Okay, that means you're going to likely go up, and you're about to cross bullish here on the stochastic RSI momentum indicator. Okay, so this is a good signal for continuation to the upside. And if you just zoom out, it looks very inverse head and shoulders, right? That big pattern on the high time frame. Okay, Bonk, you are again once again at support, and you're completely bottomed out on your momentum indicators. When the price is bottomed out and the momentum indicators are bottomed out, it's very likely that you're going to get a move up on that time frame. Okay, again, Dent at support. Everything's at support and crossed bullish on momentum indicators. Likely move up. Okay, same thing with Dodo. You're at support of the neckline of this W pattern right here. Okay, Dogecoin, you came down below the 0618, okay, which is proof that this was a corrective move. Okay, everybody thought this was pure impulse. If it were, it would have held the 0618, but it didn't. Does it mean it's going to zero? No, not necessarily. Okay, Dogecoin's not necessarily going to zero. Also, please understand, that you do have this pattern right here that you broke out of, and you're basically retesting right here. So this is actually a really good move for Dogecoin if you're reading the chart holistically and not just saying, oh, well, it went down, that must mean it sucked. It can retrace 80% of its gains in a corrective move. That's actually normal. We expect 786 retraces on flat corrections because that's the minimum retracement of a flat correction. So in the context of retracements, this is bullish because, a flat correction can retrace all the way down to the 1618. But this is actually bullish because it's holding support, right? The support, which is the neckline of this move right here, okay? It broke out, right? Just like we're talking about Bitcoin and the DXY breaking out of an 18-day channel. You break out, you have to retest the resistance or the support in the case of the DXY, then you break out in earnest. So breakout, retest in 3 waves, then you get a breakout. So this is very bullish. On the momentum indicators, you're double bottomed and completely oversold. Okay? So it's very likely that whenever Dogecoin moves next, it's going to go into pure impulse. A lot of people are incredulous as to whether or not this can move because it's a meme coin, whatever, but the charts are very bullish. Okay, Polkadot, again, it's on support. Guys, when you're on support, you don't get bearish. You don't have to be bullish, but you don't get bearish on support unless you're consolidating at support to break support, right? But in this case, it's unlikely, especially given our momentum indicator showing us that we're bottomed out, okay? All of these assets, all of these altcoins are on support. DYDX on support, showing bullishness with this hammer candle, okay? You can see it's on support, okay? Ethereum on support. Let me try and draw a straighter line. There we go. Ethereum on support, completely oversold on the momentum indicator. And remember, this is also the support of this, right? You broke out of this inverse head and shoulders and you retested it. You're on support. Don't get bearish on support, right? Especially not after a breakout. Just like Dogecoin, but not as dramatic. It broke out and it retested this, okay? So, like, Ethereum's a little ahead of Bitcoin. Because, look, so this inverse head and shoulders, right, is an 18-day affair as well, okay? Just like Bitcoin, the DXY has been in 18 days of, consolidation. Ethereum also has been, right? A lot of these altcoins have been doing the same. But what happened, and this is a way to look into the future. So when we're very confident in saying that, oh, we're going to get a breakout, it's not if, it's when, and it's very soon. It's because of things like this, okay? And this is also why sometimes you can use altcoins as indicators for what's likely coming next. So you see 18 days of consolidation, which ends up being an inverse head and shoulders, which is a reversal pattern, a bullish reversal pattern. You break out of the 18-day consolidation, which we have yet to do, mind you, in Bitcoin, right? And you shouldn't be surprised that Ethereum and some other altcoins are ahead of Bitcoin, because in a bull market with Bitcoin dominance going down, you can expect altcoins to be a step ahead of Bitcoin, okay? Because they're gaining against Bitcoin and market cap. So it goes up and it breaks that 18-day range, which we should expect Bitcoin to do sooner than later. And then it comes right back and retests it as support, okay? So that's the idea. This is what we're looking for in Bitcoin. That's the next move. Let's go to Bitcoin real quick and let's chart it. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. This is what we're looking for in Bitcoin, okay? And do you see how Ethereum posted that inverse head and shoulders? Well, in Bitcoin, it's not that different, okay? It is not that different. It's not as aesthetically pleasing, But I would say that this is my left shoulder, all of this is my head, all of this is my right shoulder, okay? And so I'm looking for a breakout up to 30K or something like that, or the height of this channel right here. A lot of people are going to be looking for a breakout and for us to go immediately to 48K. But you can't do that. You have to retest it. I'm not exactly sure how it's going to retest it. Let me just be clear. But it's likely that we break out and hit 30K on the nose or thereabouts, right? Let's be a little more precise. Let's measure the actual height of this entire range, which is, that's the highest point right here. Okay, 31.4. Okay, 31.4 would be the target, because I feel like this is the neckline. This is a likely neckline right here at the top of this range. 31.4. If Bitcoin broke out of this range, we would promptly go to 31.4 and promptly come right back down to 28.7, 28.6. Right here. Okay? And why is this? Because the principles of retesting important resistance as support hold. They're true. There's no exception to the rule. Okay? If this is going to be a tried and true breakout, a real breakout, a bona fide breakout, we have to come back and retest this 18-day resistance as support. We have to do it. Okay? So 30K, 31.4, right? And then right back down to this level of support. That is the calculus. That is the move. Okay? That's what we expect. So if this were to happen in the next few hours, don't be surprised if all weekend we spend coming right back down here. All right? So that is kind of how I'm seeing Bitcoin, especially vis-a-vis what some altcoins like Ethereum have already done. Okay? So Ethereum's a step ahead. You can see a lot of these altcoins have yet to break out. So let's see. So, okay, yeah, Dogecoin has broken out. Not DYDX. So Dogecoin is broken out. Ethereum has broken out. So this is why Ethereum is really like poised to go. Okay, if it does, and you know, we say Bitcoin can't run when the oh, you know what? You know what, guys? This can happen on the weekend. This can happen on the weekend. We don't necessarily have to get this move to 31.4 in the next few hours. Why? Okay, and this just clicked, and this is why I do the show. Because I have epiphanies sometimes that I don't have otherwise. Okay, the idea of weekend price action is that you open where you closed. You open where you closed, okay? Because of the liquidity, okay? If we close the weekend and by Friday at 5 p.m., 6 p.m., we're here and we don't do anything, yet on Saturday we start moving up, people are going to get excited, but remember, that's valid for the weekend because we know that it's not lasting, it's not consequential. It's consequential in the scheme of things because you have to break out and then retest before the real breakout. So don't be surprised if even on Saturday or during the weekend when the DXY is closed, we do get that breakout to 31.4 because we'd be retracing it anyway. So that would be a weekend move. That's what we do on the weekends. We retrace 100%, almost 100% of any gains or any losses. Okay? So we don't create any gaps in the chart. Okay? It's a liquidity thing. If you've been trading with me, if you've been reading charts with me, I've said this all pretty much for months, and I've pointed it out for months and months and months. This is a weekend move. So even if we don't break out by 5-6 p.m., we can always break out on Saturday, no problem, because we're coming right back anyway. Okay? And that would likely happen on Sunday, Monday, and before our actual breakout. So that's good news for those of you who are, for myself and for others who are kind of bored by our not breaking out when it's very obvious that we want to break out. Guys, let me get some love for that. That was an epiphany. That was an epiphany. All right. Anyway, where were we? We did Ethereum. We did Dogecoin. We did DOT. We did DYTX. Okay, HBAR. HBAR. This is another one that's right on support. Not bearish at support, right? This is a breakout. So this is another one that's already done the work, okay? That's 18 days of consolidation right here, okay? This is 18 days. This is Bitcoin in the 18-day accumulation, or whatever you want to call it, consolidation. You break out and you come right back down to retest those 18 days of resistance as support. Now, for Ethereum, for HBAR, for Dogecoin, there is no you have to come back down, okay? Because they've already done that retest of that range. This is important to note. Okay, Chainlink looks like it's going to break out. Again, right on support. And the support here is a little different, but it's a 5 waves up, 3 waves down move. And that support is the 0.618 or the phi ratio, right? The golden pocket of that previous uptrend. Litentry, same thing. Okay? You have a support at the 0.618 thereabouts. Okay, Litecoin. This support level is, let's see. Okay, this support level is the neckline of this right here. Of this cup and handle. So this cup and handle, was this 18 days? Let's see. Okay, it was thereabouts, right? Actually, if you add this period right here, yeah, it's about 18 days. So that 18 days was a cup and handle for Litecoin. It broke out, so Litecoin's another one to add to the list. Once it does break out, don't expect it to necessarily have to come back. Break out, and then it does a retest right here. Okay, so that retest is done. I think if you look at this entire thing right here, we can read 3 waves, pivot, and that's your end. WXY, I would say a WXY perhaps. Yeah, a WXY. And I'm looking for a move from here. Okay, let's just zoom in really quickly. Let's go on the hourly. Okay, let's see. It's literally like it's frozen. I'm trying to make out what this may be. Maybe some sort of ending diagonal. Okay. let's move on. Let's go back to the 4-hourly. MOVR. This is peculiar. What is this? Well, you're at support. You're at support. Okay. Not exactly sure what this is, but you're at support of this channel. So one would expect a move up. Okay. Same with Harmony 1. You're at support of this channel. One would expect a move up. Here, RSR, you're at support of this cup and handle. And this is an example of breaking out and retesting. So RSR, don't expect it to come back down like Ethereum, like HBAR, like Dogecoin. It's done its retest. It's put in its retest. Sand looks like it's preparing to move up and out. Likely going to target this area right here to complete this cup and handle. Probably break it, retest, and then move up. Same with Sheeb. This is a very nice bull flag. Okay. Coming up here, probably break it, retest, and then continue. Synthetics, you're at support of this channel. Okay. You are bullish. Here, Telcoin, you're at support of this W pattern. You've broken out, you've retested it. So Telcoin is another one. Don't expect it to come back down to do its retest. It's already put in its retest. Tron, looking like it's going to break out of this cup and handle pattern right here, which is also part of a larger pattern, which is then again part of a larger pattern. Kind of a what would you call that? A rising wedge. Okay, very, very bullish, very bullish, very bullish. I'm very excited for the kinds of breakouts we're going to see here. V-Chain is on the neckline of this bullish breakout right here. Okay, but again, you're going to have to break out, retest before you break out in earnest. The principles are consistent. And this is how, with a high degree of probability, you can read a lot of these moves. Different charts, different patterns, different sort of looks. But the principles are what enable you to say with a high degree of probability, okay, this is likely coming next, after this. But you're not going to get that before this. You know, because you always need to put in your retests. XRP is... Okay, I think we need to zoom out to see where we're at and what we're doing. Okay, I see. So you're at a neckline right here. So what you did with XRP is you broke out of a really large consolidation right here. You broke out and you retested it. So don't expect XRP to come back. It's done its major retest right there. Okay. Zilliqa. It's also done its retest, okay? This is your inverse head and shoulder, or sorry, cup and handle, breakout, retest. Don't expect Zilliqa to come back, to have to come back. So when these things break out, and again, because the smaller cap, mid cap altcoins can break out on the weekends, it doesn't matter. They don't need Bitcoin to, put in a massive move. Bitcoin just needs to go in a general direction, moderately, and these things can fly. So I'm really expecting a big move, and given the nature of the next likely move for Bitcoin to 31.4 and then back down to 28.6 to retest this 18-day resistance as support, We may even get this on the weekend. Guys, that's all I've got for you. I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Definitely like, share, and subscribe if you got value. And I will see you on Saturday for hopefully an update when Bitcoin has broken the 28K range. All right, take care. Bye.